After watching, you will know the technique tips and live rolling application details to help you get more arm bars, more omoplatas, more triangles, and we're also going to go over a really cool choke. Your hint is Nick Diaz. If you've watched more than one video, go ahead and subscribe. I welcome you. Come join the family. In today's NoGi Jiu-Jitsu class, we have Paige. Paige is a beginner white belt. She just started and she is going to be a beast. You all know Laura. Laura got her blue belt. I am the one behind the camera. I did the math today. It'll be 4 years this fall that I'm a blue belt. You are going to see how to attack from guard from an overhook, which is very, very useful, especially in MMA, because everybody's going to post on the ground or post on your hip when they're trying to punch you in the face. I know this from experience. First off, we are going to start with getting the overhook, opening the guard, making sure your far side leg is at their hip. This is very important in order to manage the distance. From there, what happens is they know that their arm is under attack, and one reaction is to turn away to try to rip the arm out. Now from here, you can also do this very cool gogoplata. So we have the underhook side foot goes under as the opposite leg goes over, and you get a little chokey choke.
Bitch, I'm getting money, give a fuck about a hands. It's a whole lot of money in this motherfucker. Don't keep me run no broke shit, that broke shit get old. Don't keep me run no hoe shit, these hoes get too bold. I'm allergic to that no shit, my wrist game on cold. I might pin my coupe like just see that. You Tamara?
What's Tia? My pussy pretty, I fuck them like porn stars.
I'm playing basketball, but my bitches is all stars.
Da Vinci on my wrist, cause I'm richer than most broads.
Yo, Nick, these bitches tripping, let's send them a postcard.
Now, when they turn away, you can also go for an omoplata. There's a huge difference between drilling and rolling, okay? Going live with the omoplata, I'll tell you what usually happens to me. Their roll is typically faster than my ability to get my arm over and stop them from rolling out of the omoplata. Usually like right about here is when they start to roll. I've learned to anticipate the roll, and I've come to view omoplatas more of a setup to then do an armbar, which is what I typically get right after, than to actually finish the omoplata itself. What's being attacked right here is the shoulder. As you lean and whisper sweet nothings into their ear, that's just a little funny saying to get the right angle.
It's a whole lot of money in this motherfucker. Don't keep me run no broke shit.
So now Paige is working. What she is doing now is an armbar from this position. One important thing is placing your foot on the far side hip and then also squeezing your knees together in order to keep them there. The triangle is my favorite. It is the ultimate chokehold because it literally is a choke. And you can also use the triangle as a holding position to then do a number of joint locks in that arm that's between your legs along with their head. Laura has her far side leg, her foot inside my hip while she gets the overhook. As I push into her, which is a common reaction, then she is able to get the other leg over my shoulder, and you have yourself a really sweet triangle from the overhook position. Typically, you would start this whole thing in closed guard and then move into this position and can attack from here. This position here you'll see very frequently. When you get your far side foot in their hip, what a common reaction is they will try to pass your guard by pinning your leg down. Now, a defense to this is grabbing their knuckle line, squeezing, and just basically pushing it down far enough so that you clear the elbow, and even if you don't push their hand all the way down and they even have like their hand on your inner thigh, you can still triangle them with that hand still in there. Your thighs are stronger than their wrist if there's just a hand on your inner thigh, and it even adds an extra layer of choking, so the choke ends up being tighter because of their hand helping to aid in the choke. Here's an example of me going 20% resistance and using my hand to try to pry Laura's leg off of my neck, and see what happens. I just get choked with my hand, with my own hand helping the situation. So don't think I have to clear the hand, the arm completely from between my legs to get a triangle choke. Choke them with their own hand.
I'm back up popping with the cool. I just landed in Chase B mixes pop like Jamba Joe's. Different color chains, see my jeweler really selling fruit.
The purpose of getting the overhook is to threaten an armbar, because once your opponent is thinking about the armbar, that makes it more easy to sneakily set up other things. Try to get the armbar, and then when they are defending the armbar, this gives you the opportunity to then push their hand down enough to get a triangle. A great tip so you can get more triangles is to get your ass up off the ground. Yes, push their hand down, but it's more than just pushing the hand down. It's getting your hips up and over their hand.
Most of these girls ain't got a clue. All of these hoes I made off records I produce. I might take all my exes and put them all in a group. Hit my essays, I need the booch. About to turn this function into final room.
Here I am giving Laura a little bit of realistic resistance. So this is what I would do if she were to try to do this to me live. And the reason why I'm doing this is to let her work through different scenarios while we are drilling. That way we can go slower and revisit it and redo it, because once you start rolling, things happen and it's over really quick and it's hard to troubleshoot from there. I make drilling more fun and interesting and realistic, giving little adding defensive movements into the equation with a little bit of resistance, intelligent resistance. What if I grabbed her ankle? What would happen then? So she simply brought her knees in, and then that brought me inside, and she triangle choked me anyway. And then of course from here, Laura could always hip out and go right back to the armbar. So that's the beauty of the overhook arm right there, is the arm that she would be doing the armbar to. So the beauty of this series is that there's always something you can go to that's the answer for the defense of the move. If you're arm barring and they go towards you, do the triangle. If you're arm barring and they go away from you, do the omoplata or the gogoplata. If they're trying to be a pain in the ass and fighting the triangle, smush their hands down, bring your hips up and finish a triangle. So it's the beauty of learning movements as a series and as a system, especially when you know why you're doing the things that you're doing and what the real and what's the move that is the answer to the defense. What is the counter attack? That's the beauty of jiu-jitsu, is knowing the counter attack to the defense that your opponent will do to your original attack. Here's the armbar going into the gogoplata. Now we get into some live rolling. It is me going up against a beginner white belt. Her name is Paige, and she is super strong and extremely smart. She is already moving extremely well. What I want to do is let her work and test her by doing the movements and seeing what she does when I offer her resistance. Right now I am in her closed guard. I give her the overhook by underhooking her arm because I want to see what she does, and she immediately goes for the attack that we just learned, which is amazing. The majority of white belts that I see, they learn something in class and then rolling starts, and then all of a sudden everything that they just learned goes out the window. But to see somebody actually doing the technique and trying the technique that was just taught during live sparring is completely incredible.
Say where we going, and I said no. We ain't even make it to the room. She thought it was the ocean, it's just a pool. Now I gotta open, it's just a ghost. Who put this shit together? I'm the glue.
Right now she has the overhook and I am attempting to pass as she simultaneously gets a gogoplata and armbar. Not bad.
I just count the hours. Stop tripping, I'm tripping off the power. The system broken, the school's closed, the prison's open. We ain't got nothing to lose,
Now Paige is in my closed guard. I hip out in order to get the overhook position, and then she turns into me to try to get past my legs, and then that's my opportunity to get over the arm, close up the triangle, and I typically like to do a shotgun armbar, so I'll get an overhook on the far side arm and finish with an armbar from triangle.
The system broken, the school's closed, the prison's open. We ain't got nothing to lose,
The makings of a great jiu-jitsu player is the ability to adapt and try new things. Instead of just trying to pass my guard and do it with more force and harder, she changes up her approach and figures, okay, I'm going to stand up and try to open her guard from standing in order to pass, which is extremely smart. She opens my guard, pins my leg down in order to pass my guard, and gets a mount position. Now from mount, it's my turn to do a mount escape. As she is trying to Americana me from mount, she's going immediately for an attack from mount, which is extremely impressive. And she is trying to isolate one of my arms in order to finish Americana. And from here, I slide into deep half guard in order to complete a half guard sweep. So I am attempting to sweep her one way and then come back the other way.
I just count the hours. Stop tripping, I'm tripping off the power. The system broken, the school's closed, the prison's open. We ain't got nothing to lose, motherfucker, we roll. With some light-skinned girls and some Kelly Rolls. In this white man world, we the ones.
Paige knows exactly where she wants to go next, and the ultimate position is the back. She goes for my back and she does a very smart move of trying to get her hooks in first. I want to show her what it feels like to try to maintain back position against somebody who knows escapes. The whole point isn't to aggressively say no. The whole point is to offer resistance but have movement at the same time. If we spend the entire round too afraid to move, then what have we really accomplished besides burning out each other? This is a knee in pass. Get your knee into their butt and have them balance on it. It makes them open their guard. Then you have the opportunity to do a knee over pass or cut across pass in order to pass the guard and get into a side control position. Paige is going to be a friggin' monster. She already feels super strong and she's already doing techniques. I'm just really excited to have her on the mats, and I'm excited to spend some time with you as well. If you haven't subscribed already, I welcome you. Come join the family. One way to practice these jiu-jitsu techniques is to know how to drill and how to drill realistically. What do I mean by this? If you have a person that never tries things live and only drills, they tend to focus on things that don't matter because they don't know how it feels or what's going to happen when they really try it. So they don't really know what's important. One thing that I love doing, especially with somebody that I train with frequently, I will drill with them and I will start being a little bit of a pain in the ass, but a realistic pain in the ass. Not a complete 100% pain in the ass, just like 25% pain in the ass. I will begin to do things that I would actually do to defensively shut it down in real life rolling, but I'll do it just kind of like playfully because I want them to know how to react, and that's something that's super useful. I only apply as much strength as I need to. You might be thinking, Crystal, what do you mean not use any strength or use the least amount of strength as possible? Jiu-jitsu means the gentle art. I want to use the least amount of effort to choke people out and to do joint lock attacks. My ultimate jiu-jitsu goal is to do all of this using the least amount of strength and effort, because my technique and timing and the way I put these moves together are so highly skilled and on point that people saying no really aggressively to one thing I'm doing, they're just actually saying yes aggressively to the counter. To be able to fight somebody and to do it with the least amount of effort, do the least in terms of energy expenditure while doing the most damage in terms of attacking joints and choking them out. Maximum damage with minimal effort. A result, an output of maximum damage with minimal physical work input. Much like you will see upper level belts having a complete conversation while choking the shit out of their students. Until next time, bye.